Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Williams, and this video is a continuation of the video where we spoke about the target audience. It's very important, like I said in the last video, you know your target audience because it's going to help you a whole lot if you know that. So we're going to be putting that theory to the test today in this video. But if you like the previous video, I'll just please you to kindly like, comment, and subscribe as it helps the channel grow as well. So, without further ado, let's begin writing the fiction book. So, in the first video, we spoke about the different age categories or genres. So, we will be putting that to test now. This is the first prompt, and then I will give you the full prompt list in the video link in the video description. So this is where now if you want to be a young adult fiction writer, you put YA. If you want to be a middle grade fiction writer, you put MG, and so on and so forth. So based on popular demands, I will be using the YA, and then it will be in caps. I press enter. What the first prompt does is that it gives me a full list of the top selling fiction books or themes under the list. It put them into order. As you can see, how they sell, that's how they are being listed here. They all do sell. But that's how they are all being listed here. So, the top selling ones are always the ones that go first. So, mind you, the only edit I did to this prompt was here by putting the YA, which is the young adult. This is why you have it here, YA, which is young adult, and then you can even see it here as young adult. So, we move to the next one. Do not worry about pausing the video to copy the prompt. I will give the prompts as well. So we move to the next one, which is prompt number 2. Then we copy. Remember, this video is click as I click and do as I do. So now this is the first one. Now, what we are going to be changing here, I should have done the edit to this prompt, where you will see the brackets in your prompt guide. That is where you need to make your changes. So for this one, I'll go for high fantasy or forbidden magic, anyone, or prophecy gone wrong. Let me try this. And then I'll paste this, and I'll come down here and I'll also change this as well. So as you can see, as I pick the theme for it to write on, it also says to give me the best performing one as well, which is the first ones that are very, very popular, which is horror fantasy, which is a very popular one. And then the strongest fit is I'll come down to pick from here, which is I'll do that in the prompt 3. And then I'll press and I'll copy the horror fantasy. You can pick anyone, it's just my own skill of preference. And mind you, what this prompt does is that you are now going to start creating the settings for the book. Let's say how the book is going, the emotions, the sense of the characters, the title, and everything, what happens during the whole novel, how it starts, how it ends, and everything. This prompt does it. So, as you can see, I used the first two prompts, which is to choose the genre and the subgenre, which has given me all the first one. And now this one is for the character and the story setting plus the title. So I'll press enter and then I'll wait for it. As you can see, title, the last name, the prophecy forgot. And I want you to observe something. Because I choose YE, which is young adult, the main character, which is the protagonist, Ira, she's 17 years old, meaning every other character within the book will be in that age range. So as you can see, this is the settings and everything, the protagonist, the antagonist, the settings, the main goal, the internal conflict, the external conflict, the prophecy gone wrong, which is the last name is spoken, the city will be spared, and then the ticking clock, emotional story consequences, physical story consequences, the tone, and the theme. So those are what is going to consist of the character and then the book building. So we move to the next one, which is now, we are now going to create the premise for the book. And with this prompt, we are not changing anything. We are going to leave it because this is what goes at the back of the book cover. So it's important we leave it like that. So we are waiting for it while it generates the the back cover of the book. And now with this prompt, you have to do a lot. So you have to just make a little bit of research to know your niche or the kind of book you'll be writing, how many pages you want, and how many words within the book. So if you want 250 pages, this is where you change it, and then approximately 80,000 words or so. This is where you do that edit, you change it. Okay, so as you can see, it's currently generating the book back, the cover, what goes on the back of the cover. Forgive my French. So as I was stating on the prompt file before, I had to pause the video to reset my internet connection. Now we want to, that is the book back, the cover, the text that goes at the back of the book cover. So you want to copy that somewhere, like, so that you can use via your Canva or your Photoshop to design your book cover. So the next thing we want to do is that now we have the characters, we have the scene, we have the settings, and then we have the back of the cover script and everything. So the next thing we want to do is that we want to focus on creating the what? Chapters. And in creating the chapters, there is this place I want you to take note of. These are the number of words the entire book is going to consist of, and this is the number of pages that the entire book is going to consist of. So normally, the minimum page of fiction book can weigh is about 250, 260, like that. That is the minimum. So for me, I usually like 300, but for this video, I'm going to do 220 or 265. And then I'll leave it like that and then I'll go to. You can actually do your own research to know the type of niche you are in and what is going to happen. So now what's going to happen is that based on the number of pages I'm going, it's going to give me what 30 to 32 chapters. So just let it do its thing. So as you can see, it's creating the chapter by chapter, chapter by chapter. So we have 30 chapters in total for just this one book. We have 30 chapters. This is the chapter outlines. So now the next thing we want to do is that we want to focus on breaking these chapters into scene. But before we do that, we have to get the physical character description. Means each character, we want to know how the character looks like within the book. That way we can better design the book cover and create images for the book, that is if we so choose to. So now we paste the prompt. We are not making any changes to this prompt. So now as you can see, the main character, which is the protagonist, age 17, physical description, slender, pale, it's giving you everything. The oracle, bald oracle, antagonist, and then Father Lucian, which is the priest guy leader, and Kill the Spirit Ali, Elara Mon, which is Aria's mom, and everything. So that is what that prompt does. It gives you the physical description of every character within the book. Now the next thing we want to do is that we want to break down the chapters into various scenes. Reason being is that it helps to build the story. This is not just the normal cookbook and other books where you just copy the chapter and then 3 subtitles and then page. No, this one we break them down to give us what? Scene by scene, meaning we are creating dialogue, conversation between each character at every point in time of the story. That way the story is consistent and the reader is engaged to know what this character did at what point, what was the response, what was the reaction, the mixed feeling, everything, the drama, it creates the suspense and everything. That alone keeps the reader hooked to your book. So imagine if you're writing such a story in series, which is series 1, series 2, and series 3. If the reader reads series 1, will definitely want to read series 2. And if they read series 2, they'll definitely want to read series 3. This is how gossip works. You tell one person, that person gets invested. Now it goes. That's how it is. So now we're going to break chapter 1 into different scenes. So for this one, let's see how many scenes it's going to give to chapter 1. So chapter 1 has 6 scenes. Now we're going to write on each one of those scenes. We'll write on each of those scenes, which is very, very important. So next prompt, what we're going to do is that now that this prompt is very, very long, so what we're going to do is that we are going to, let me do this. Let me copy this full thing here and open a new dialog. and then the first person point of view, we're going to work this, which is the character, which is this. So we're going for our character. This is why we create a description of the character. So the first person point of view is area or run, which is here. We're going to change it, and then we're now going to go for the scene, which is the first scene. We'll copy this full scene, the settings, the cause, and the purpose. We'll copy all of that. This is how we write scene by scene. Scene by scene. We don't just copy the whole. So do as I do. This is how, and then we'll copy this here. And then we'll paste the full scene. And then we'll copy it. And then for each scene, you will generate 1,300 words, to be precise. So as you can see, the 4 rows, this is the beginning of the story, which is chapter 1, scene 1. And then we will clean this. So this is scene 1. This is scene 1. Scene 1, chapter 1. Then we will do the same thing for scene 2, which is chapter 1. But before we do that, this is something I want us to observe. You see, this is scene 1, chapter 1. And then in this scene, there are 6 scenes. So this is where you changed from the 4 to 6. So now we have written scene 1, which is this 1 of 1. Now we are going to write scene 2. So we change that to scene 2, and then we copy it. And then we paste this in 2. We copy Control A and Control C, and then Control V. Get it right. So you see, chapter 1, scene 2. This is how you will continue to do it till you get to chapter 2. Okay, so as you can see, we are getting there. This is chapter 1. This is chapter 1, scene 2. Now we go back, and then we copy scene 3. Scene 3, chapter 1. And then we come back to this, and then we clean the scene 2 from there. And then now, since we are on scene 3, what we do is that we clean it, which is the third scene of all the 6 scenes in the chapter. Then we paste scene 3. And then we Control A, Control C. And then we come here, Control V. So that is how we'll do it. We'll do it like this. This is how we'll do it. So before you start doing all this, what you need to do is to copy all of your chapters. That is the very first thing you need to do. Copy all of your chapters. Copy all of your chapters. So you can copy all of this. So your Google Doc or your Microsoft. So the next thing I want to do is that I want to leave you guys here and then let you, probably when you're done with your chapter scene 1, all of the chapter 1, all of the scenes in the chapter. So now after you're done with all of the scenes in the chapter, the next thing you want to do is that you come to this is where we do the edit for the chapter 2. So now you change the chapter here. That's if you've reached into chapter 2. Now that we have all of the scenes and we are now going to chapter 2, this is what we want to do. To get the chapter 2 scenes, we come back to prompt 7 and then we paste it, and then we change this chapter 1 to chapter 2, and then we change the lower one from chapter 2 to chapter 3, and then we paste. As you can see, we are on chapter 2, and these are the different scenes for chapter 2, and it also has 6 scenes. We also have 6 scenes as well. So for 6 scenes, now we're going to work with only the last prompt when we are working with the chapters, which is chapter 8, the scenes in the chapter. So as I said, this one, chapter 2, also have 6 scenes. So chapter 2, where you have the chapter, you change this to chapter 2, and then here you change this to chapter 3. So you do this chapter 3, which is after you're done writing, the full story should lead you down to chapter 3. Each scene, they should be in order that will automatically connect to chapter 3. So now, chapter 2 has 6 scenes. We change the 4 to 6, and we change this to 6 as well. And then we start copying from scene to scene, and then importantly, change the agent here and use the main character name. Use the main character name here. Use the main character, which is the protagonist. Always use the protagonist, which is the first person view of the story. That is how you write from chapter to chapter till you are done with the book. So, with that being said, this is how we actually write our fiction book. And then the next thing you want to look at, how to format it using our free software. And this software is called Witty. We will discuss it further in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, comment, like, and subscribe, as it helps us. If you don't understand anything, feel free to leave me a comment in the description below. I'll be more than happy to answer it as well. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. God bless, and happy writing. Bye bye.